Hello friends, welcome to another episode, and today I thought I should show you a little bit of my workspace with a focus on where I do my hair and a little bit of recording for you guys. This little spot here is the TV area where, as you can see, is my son and myself share this space. So this is one of the tables other than the spare bedroom. Depending on the light and the weather outside, it's winter at the moment, so I enjoy a little bit of candles around. So the main thing that I wanted to show you was the simple setup that I have as to where I groom my hair and where I write down my thoughts as to what I want to share with you with every episode. So this is one area. Other than, of course, my bed, I've got a notebook at my bedside. So for me, writing down ideas is a full-time job, which is a pleasure, really. So basically, this is where I sit. And to my left over here is where my little trolley on wheels here is. So as you can see, this is like, the toasting section, got sandwiches and all that. So it fits smack bang right in the middle between my work bench here and some cabinetry to your right there where I keep some of my porcelains and cast iron pots. So what I do basically when I want to use my stuff is I'll put it out of here, because this is just a storage spot. I don't put my hair in front of my toaster, and put it over here to where I can reach everything. And I'll just show you stage by stage what I use or what I have here, just to give you some perspective. So at the top here, I've got some mineral makeups. Most of you will be familiar with Naked 3. I've got a few palettes of those, which are mineral makeup, which is fantastic. I've got a few brushes here, which are pretty good. My diamond hairspray bottles, which you all know. Face wipes that are fragrance free, so they are really good when you just want to clear up your face. For me, it's just natural oils, given I don't use foundation. Now my top drawer here is where I keep the size where I'm at, and when I say the size where I'm at of perm rods, with my 29-inch dreadlocks, this is ever so tightly rolled right around in order for it to get to the tip. I believe I may have to graduate from this not long from now, so this is really at full capacity using this size. And as you can imagine, I've moved from many sizes over the last 10 years of growing my hair. These are silicone slingbacks, if you are wondering what they are. These ones are just ordinary plastic ones that come with the perm rod, but when they actually disintegrate, or sometimes when I feel up to it, I just take some of these and swap them over. So in here, it's a mix of the original strap and this one, which is actually silicone, which won't break or burn. So that's the first drawer, which is ever so used. And then in my second drawer here, I have my little rubber bands that I'll use for different types of styling that I'll show you in episodes to come. These are my clip-ons. In here, what do I have? I have some sharp scissors. You should always have sharp scissors. It's not great to use blunt scissors, of course. This is a hairdressing cape, and it has Velcro that fits right around your neck, like the one you'd typically have dressed. You normally would be dressed in when you go to the hairdresser. I have that for myself here. These are clamps that I use to section my hair, and I used to use them mostly when my hair was, right in its infancy. But now these clips are way too small for my big mane that I have now. These ones probably hold my hair back better. And it's a pack of two. These are spares. There are some that are in action in a different container. This is Cantu gel, as you already know. And these are metal clips that I use normally at the base of my hair when I'm twisting, which will be in a separate video when I'm just twisting my hair straight, as opposed to my first video that showed you how I twist my hair and curl it up in perm rods to have the spirals in that I have still at the moment. This is an empty bottle. I use this bottle to contain usually just essential oils. There's a measuring level there. So my green growth oil that I showed you in my first video is the one that I normally mix up and just oil the base of my scalp, and it has aided me in getting roughly 29-30 inches of dreadlocks in 10 years from completely nothing on my scalp. So in here we also have other conditioners. You'll notice this knitting wool, it doubles really well when I want to do an updo with big massive needles. Great aid in sewing up the an updo when you need to put up your hair securely as opposed to ordinary thread. And then remember when I mentioned earlier that I graduated from smaller perm rods to the top ones that are up here. So now these are probably the second generation of perm rods that I used to use. Now they're out of action because they're way too small. Down here I keep some more of my perm I keep more of my pomade lock gels and all sorts of things, just space. So the last drawer has the largest spiral perm rods that I have, and these wouldn't be practical to have on all my dreadlocks on my head, otherwise I wouldn't be able to fit into the hooded hair dryer. So they are only useful if I just wanted to like have a partial sort of like hair set. So most likely it would be like 1/3 of the front of my head, and then maybe I wanted to have an updo. So if I wanted really defined huge spiral effect of my dreadlocks, this is what I would use. I've done it once, and one of these days I'll experiment and share with all of you. So that's what I possess in terms of the size range of perm rods that I use to set my hair. And speaking of setting my hair, I only set my hair once every quarter, so 4 times a year. So I limit the amount of heat that I apply to my hair, only because I'm a true believer in the fact that too much heat can spoil the bonds of your hair and as a result cause damage. So I don't go into the hair dryer on a monthly basis or every week, or the frequency is no more than once every 3 months. So and sometimes even less. So basically that's it. So this is my little trolley, and I can move it anywhere. I can use this in my bedroom, I can put it across the house to my spare bedroom, I can go outside if the weather is lovely. So it's handy to have a trolley like this. These trolleys are inexpensive. They are found in the likes of $2 shops. In Australia we have them as well, and I don't believe it's more than, I would say, $20 in price. It's durable and you don't have to overload it. So everything here is pretty light, and you don't want to load it with too many heavy things. So probably the heaviest items here would be the pomade that I have in the third and fourth drawer. But other than that, it's just right in terms of how much is loaded onto the trolley. The wheels are pretty sturdy and they do the job. If I feel like blinging it out, I've always thought at times that, as you can see, I'm clearly a fan of crystal. So anytime I can put a crystal knob on an item, I do it. I don't miss up the chance. So one of these days when I feel like I have time and energy, I might swap these over. But otherwise, look, this trolley has been with me for at least, I would say, 8 years that I've had this trolley. So you know, I haven't done it yet only because it's the list of my priorities, but every time I see it I think, oh, I should actually change those over, they look so much nicer. But anyway, that's my little workstation, my little mobile workstation. Being a mom, trying to multitask all the time, trolleys on wheels change your life when you've got it, because you can literally set up and you're good to go anywhere in the house. Okay, so that's my little workstation. Hi again, friends. I'm back in my mummy cave to further show you what else that I use as a staple in grooming my hair. The last 10 years I've self-managed in Melbourne. So in addition to my little storage trolley, I have different clips, like I had explained before, that I've used at different stages. If your journey is right at the beginning, that is to say you've got really short hair and you're trying to get into dreadlocking your hair, you may need clamps, hair clamps like these. That would be probably the right size at a certain point, maybe when your dreadlocks are maybe 2 to 3 inches long. When they are really small, all you're doing is just twisting and trying by all means to keep the lines defined the whole time. The one thing that can help you lay those little stand-up dreadlocks when they're really small is hair clips like these, and these come in different lengths. So this is one of the really small ones. Even with my length of hair, I still use these when I'm just on a day when I've just washed my hair, not to curl it up in spirals, but to just twist and make sure that my base is nice and clean and moisturized, and I keep my hair straight. And I'll keep these for a few hours while my locking pomade sets at the base of my hair. So these I use to this day because it's not holding up the length of my lock, it's just holding up the twist at the base. So that's what I would use on a typical wash day post locking my hair. The other one that would probably be more significant in terms of strength to hold up more locks at the same time, it might hold 4 or 5 at the same time. You can clip some here that are already done and you work your way back, or you might be one of those people who work your way from the back to the front. It doesn't really matter. It's just an example of what I use to give you an idea of what you can look up for on the internet to purchase. Few things are available in Australia. Most things you have to buy on Amazon US, but they get across quite easily. The next thing would be my favorite, little rat tail that keeps those definitions of your lines in order. You're not combing, you're parting, so it's more of a parting comb for me. For you girls and boys who comb your hair, this is fantastic for keeping your edges in check, but never tag at your hair because you don't want it to break. So this, you just have to be careful and use it well. Now this one is my everyday rat tail comb because it has that favorite part for me. I find some people who can access these just break off the top ones. This one comes as is, so this is my favorite one, and this does the job, which just keeps each and every lock of mine in good order when I'm just trying to retwist my hair on a weekly basis. So that's that one. Then when you're just trying to apply a conditioner or a hair mask, which I will demonstrate in videos to come, one of these would do, and normally it comes with an accompanying bowl, but I can't find it at the time of taping this video, so I'm sure you've seen these before. They are used commonly for applying color into your hair. It's not something that I do often, so I use it. It is multi-purpose, so you can use it for like a hair mask, which is just to add protein to your hair, which I do once in a while just to keep my hair healthy. So that's that one. Hair brushes. For all our friends who comb their hair, a wide tooth comb is really important. I've always owned these. I bought these many years ago and I keep them around. I've got visitors who need to comb their hair, so I keep them just for that purpose, given I don't comb my hair obviously. But this is really good when you're trying to comb your hair at the beginning, because you want to start wide with your comb and then work your way down as you get all the knots out, so that you reduce the breakage of your hair, being gentle. So you need to have you need to put a bit of thought into what comb do you use for your type of hair and where you are at and what you're trying to achieve. Hair brushes come in many varieties. Some of these I used on my son's hair that is always trimmed by his dad. So any of these, a good quality hairbrush is always important, because
Usually some of the really cheap ones have very, very harsh bristles that can probably cause more trauma to your scalp than actually brush and aid your hair. So you want to invest in good hair brushes. And then also little decorative things after all the effort you've put in are nice to finish off your hair. I've got just a few that I've got here, but a full drawer of different things that I like to add to just make my hair look nice when I'm styling it. This is a pearl crystal hairpin, very, very strong metal, and you know, they're not flimsy by any means. I also have Alice bands, and you will notice these Alice bands are satin inside. There are no combs to be seen anywhere, and these for me are great on the basis that they sit comfortably on the top of your head, but they are not tagging on your scalp or your hair. So as a result, they don't cause any trauma, and there's no chance for hair to be pulled away from your head. It's just that little microscopic occurrence that is repetitive times many years that results in unexplained thinning around, you know, your edges, like right at the front, or maybe in the middle of your head because your ponytail is way too tight and you wear it permanently like that for years and years. Your hair can't sustain that sort of tension. So we need to be a lot more kinder with our hair. We want to have great results, but in order to achieve those, we need to be a lot more thoughtful over how we approach the management of our hair. If you employ some, if not, even if it's not everything, some of the things that I advise in the many episodes that I'm yet to upload, you will find that your growth journey with your hair will actually be successful. So it's these little things that we don't think about that being mentioned now, I hope they will resonate with you, and you will start to, you know, inculcate those into the natural way in which you do things. So that way you can have a changed perspective as to how you approach the management of your hair. You are never rough with your skin on your face, I hope. You are never rough with your children. So why would you think you can tag at your hair and use whatever comb and pull out and break off stuff and still have the great results? It doesn't colorate. So ultimately, think about it before you actually decide what you want to do, because if you actually put in place everything that I've said, you will actually see the result. That's me in a nutshell regarding equipment. I've spoken to you about my hooded hair dryer, which I have that's mounted on the wall and available 24/7 for me to access. And these are the little bits and pieces that I've used consistently the past 10 years. So the key to hair growth is patience and consistency. You will never go wrong if you employ those two qualities in your hair growth journey. I doubt there's anything that comes really quickly, especially for us as Africans. Our hair doesn't grow that easily. It breaks, as a matter of fact, because our hair comes naturally dry. We forever have to nourish it. So that's a snippet of what I basically have used through my 10 years of managing my own hair in Melbourne. Most of the things that I've shown you are basically the foundation of what I've used. Your journey to grow your own hair doesn't have to start with a hooded hair dryer. That's expensive. It can be procured when it suits you. In the meantime, it's quite easy to just buy a handheld blow dryer from the likes of Target, for $20, $30, $40, and that should do. It will take a little bit longer, but you get there, especially when your journey is just at the beginning. You don't have much to try anyway, so you can work your way through deciding what you want to do next as you get to that next phase. Not mentioning the fact that if you manage your own hair and once in a while you want to just spiral it, it's not expensive to have the perm rods, so you do all that yourself, and all you do is walk over or drive over to the nearest hairdresser and just ask for the fee for sitting in the hairdryer. How about that? So that's an easy dupe for owning one, you can at least schedule an appointment to just say, you don't have to do anything for me, I just want to pay for the seat of sitting in your hair dryer, and that's it. And the cost will be far less than the full management of your hair, of what you can learn on this channel to do all by yourself. So you go to the hairdresser and they'll probably charge you $50 to just sit in there for a whole hour, and you dry your lovely locks, and off you go to your, next appointment. So all in all, I'm so thankful that you came to my channel. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you've learned something today, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.